Oh boy, we just had a recap here inside Dragon Ball Daima episode 4 where we saw inside the original Dragon Ball Goku versus the Red Ribbon Army. We had something like that, but it's called Goku versus the Gendermind, who is the military police force for the king of the demon world. What is going on, my Z fans? Welcome back to another review for Dragon Ball Daima episode 4. I must say, this episode did give us a lot of great hints and a lot of great stuff, which we'll be discussing throughout the review. And I must say, compared to the last previous episode, this episode was really interesting. I like how they gave us that Red Ribbon Army feel, and I like the fact that we get to see a little bit more of Goku's power and all. So yeah, one thing I did enjoy the most when it comes to this is definitely that fight with Goku versus the Genderminds. But one thing I want to discuss when it comes to the review is about the Dragon Ball, which also piqued my interest. Now let's talk about Glorio. One thing when it comes to Glorio is that he still looks like an underrated character or so. Like, we don't know how powerful he is, but from what we saw him making some moves, and he did attack some demon, and from just speculating his ki pressure and all that, Goku was able to tally how strong he is. And according to Goku, Goku's like, hey, you're not that strong, you know? I have to give it to you though, you have some skill, but you're probably just slightly stronger than the Supreme Kai. Ha! That made me laugh right there. The fact that Supreme Kai is right next to Goku, he's like, hey, I could fight too, you know? Why you have to say that about me? I'm sorry, Supreme Kai, it is true. When you came to planet Earth, you were the weakest one out of all of them. You were surprised at how strong Piccolo was, how strong Vegeta was, Gohan, and Goku, so you don't match with their level. And Goku's talking about experience. He knows exactly how strong who everyone is. And from what he saw Glorio is pretty strong. Yeah, Supreme Kai is stronger than Babidi, so therefore Glorio could be easily stronger than both of them, but nowhere near Majin Buu. Yeah, don't get too excited there, Glorio, you're too weak. But one thing I did find it to be funny was just how Goku was rubbing his face. And it's interesting to see how Goku's still trying to adapt to his kid body. He's trying to fly in the gas and see if he can handle it and all that. It is pretty interesting to see how he's able to adapt to it. Slowly he's building that adaptation up. One thing I found really interesting was the demon world. They continue to show us just how great it is. It's actually pretty fun to explore there. Like I said in the previous review, it reminds me of Planet Vegeta with the mixture of Planet Tuffle from Dragon Ball GT. That's it, continue to give us that vibe. And there's like a sea of darkness where if you fall into it, you can never get out. So that's actually kind of scary thing right there. And what's funny is that they even got demon fishes. Now, speaking of demon fishes, one thing that grossed me out was the food that was inside the demon world. We see that Goku's very hungry. One thing I love about Goku is that he doesn't change. Whether he's a kid or an adult, he's still the same. Oh, I'm so hungry, I cannot move, I need to eat. Give me some food, I'm hungry. So yeah, that's still the same typical old Goku. And what was disgusting was they took him to a place where they could get a new spaceship. Yeah, speaking of spaceship, one thing we actually didn't anticipate was that we just thought that the spaceship helps them get through from the demon world to one place to another, but this spaceship also gets them back to Earth. And the fact that his spaceship got destroyed, therefore, it appears Goku and the Supreme Kai are trapped there forever. Although it makes no sense that Supreme Kai could Kai there, but I guess since because he became a child, he doesn't have that sense to Kai, like he cannot do that right now. Maybe that could be the incident, but it's weird. As a Supreme Kai, as a deity, you're able to Kai anything where you like. So how come they're not showing that right here? Maybe they want us to go through the long route of just Supreme Kai holding back so they could travel instead of him just Kai-Kaiing everywhere. That could be one case. Otherwise, it could be where ever since he became a kid, he cannot Kai. And if that's the case, I find it to be kind of BS because it's the Supreme Kai. You know, he's a deity. They're able to still do that from birth. That's what Kais are meant to do. Now let's talk about Goku's nastiness, man. One thing we saw right here, I get it, my guy. You're very hungry. If I was in the demon world, I'll be really hungry too. But to the point you're eating lizard? They had some nasty ass steamed lizard where when Goku ate it, he said it tastes good. It looks disgusting. Like when you took a bite of it, you see some black juice coming out of this lizard. Yeah, very nasty. And over here, we saw some type of bubble tea. But it wasn't bubble tea. Instead of tapioca, there was eyeballs. And when Goku took a sip of that, he's like, yo, this shit is disgusting. I was like, phew, you scare me there, Goku. If you like that too, you're slowly turning into a cannabis, my guy. So that's good that he did not like the eyeball drink, but yeah, it was disgusting to see just how he's enjoying that lizard and enjoying that feast. But one thing that got me really interested inside this part right here was that there's something called meta bugs. Now, these meta bugs are actually pretty interesting. In Earth, if you want to fuse, you got the Patara earring. If you're down and you're very low in stamina and health, you got the Senso bean. Here inside the demon world, there's something called meta bugs, and there's different color of meta bugs. It's like a bug coated with some type of candy, which is disgusting, but in order to use this effect, you have to eat this bug. and therefore there's one meta bug where if you eat it, it's like a senzu bean. It'll completely heal your health, it'll heal your stamina. So they got their own version of senzu bean, but it's bug version. And now if you want to fuse with someone else, you're gonna have to give them the same meta bug, and both of you eat those meta bugs and you'll fuse. Who knows how long, but that's how the demon people fuse. Inside the demon world, 2 demons will eat this meta bugs and they'll fuse to become one. Where inside Earth, if you want to fuse, you got the Patara earring, and if you want to recover your health, you got the senzu bean. I guess since you are humans, you're gonna go through the normal way, where for demon, they're gonna have to eat bugs. So I thought this was really cool, and Goku found it to be very interesting too. He quickly told Gloria to go and buy them these meta bugs so he could use it later on. Does Goku plan to do a fusion? Don't tell me. Are we gonna see a fusion of Kid Goku and Kid Vegeta when he enters the demon world? Can you imagine Kid Vegito? How cool does that look? Or even Kid Gogeta? Unless the fusion of the demon bug gives you a complete different appearance. Who knows? This is gonna be really interesting to see what happens. And to see how they use the senzu bean or the meta bugs as a senzu bean, that's also pretty interesting too. Now, one thing that got me to be really excited inside this episode was the Dragon Balls. Goku, on the other hand, had no idea what the Dragon Balls are. He's a clueless after all, but I don't blame him, no one told him about it. But when Gloria mentioned about the Dragon Ball, Goku's like, hey wait, I have a question. Do you guys really have Dragon Balls in this world? According to Gloria, this is the original Dragon Ball. That kind of contradicts what happened in Dragon Ball Super, where the Super Dragon is the original Dragon Ball. They just made this bullshit up inside the demon world, where that's the original Dragon Ball. So yeah, cut the shit. We all know the original Dragon Ball is from the Super Dragon, and that's where the Namekian copied and they made their own. So I don't know why he said this is the original. That was some type of plot hole right there. It's like, seriously, we fans know more about Dragon Ball than the toy animation. Come on guys, step up your game. Know your knowledge of Dragon Ball. Especially someone like me who's an analyst of Dragon Ball, you cannot bullshit your way out of me when it comes to this. The original creator of the Dragon Ball is a Super Dragon. They're the original, not the demon one. They're just trying to add it to have some fun, I guess. But anyways, one thing that was interesting was that Goku, after hearing about the Dragon Ball, it piqued his interest, because Gloria said in order for you to get the Dragon Ball, you need to go through these very powerful warrior Tangama who are pretty much holding down the Dragon Ball, and if you cannot beat them, you cannot use your Dragon Ball to make a wish, and no one in Demon World was strong enough to beat them. That's how powerful they are. And upon hearing that, got Goku to be really excited. You know, Goku, he's like, wait, strong warriors? Yo, count me in, bet! I'm gonna fight them and I'm gonna use the Dragon Ball. Goku forgot completely about Dende. He's like, alright, new destination, let's go get those Dragon Balls, I wanna fight them. Yeah, I understand he's a Saiyan, I can see his interest, but Supreme Kai also made a good point. He said, hey, how about we go use the Dragon Balls and wish for Dende to be, you know, safe. And then that's when they all agreed that if Dende's safe, the Earth Dragon will be usable, and therefore they could use the Earth Dragon to wish themselves to become adults again. So that is pretty interesting to see just how strong these warriors are that are protecting the Dragon Ball. One thing we know for sure, they're not stronger than Majin Buu, because everyone in the Demon World feared Majin Buu. Everyone knew actually how powerful Majin Buu is. Not even the great King Deborah was able to beat something like of Majin Buu. And I'm pretty sure King Deborah might be the one who's slightly weaker than these warriors. He was probably the strongest one who was ever had a chance to beat those warriors. Hey, all I can see is Goku growing, transforming to a Super Saiyan 3. Give me some more Super Saiyan 3 love in action, and he'll easily beat the shit out of these warriors, and he'll obtain the Dragon Ball. Because I'm very excited to see just how these Super Dragon Balls will look like. Oh wait, why am I saying Super? That's only one Super Dragon Ball. These Demon Dragon Balls will look like. I really want to know how their Shen one will look like too. It really piqued my interest, so I just can't wait to see how this plays out. Now, one thing I did really like about here, which I mentioned in the beginning, was that this gave me a feel of Goku fighting the Red Ribbon Army. That's exactly what happened here inside the Demon World. They stumble across some village, and we see that King Goma is already doing his bullshit. He got his military force police officers, the Gender Mind, to go to each village and collect gold coins. There are a lot of poor villages, they cannot afford gold coins, and if you cannot give them gold coins, you're gonna have to give 3 years of your life per coins. So if you're completely broke, you got none, that means you gotta give 9 years of your life. And from there we saw that they have some type of weird machine which grabs you by your neck and absorbs some type of life force out of you, and therefore that's you giving up 1 year, 2 years, 3 years until you reach the max number. So it is weird to see that and interesting, and one thing that got Goku really upset was like, yo, these guys are bullies, they're just unnecessarily attacking these villagers. And this is why we all love Goku. He's a hero, he cannot stand by seeing the weak be attacked by the strong, and that's exactly what Goku did. He has intervened. I mean, at first we had some weird demon kid try to intervene, but she sucked completely. She even tried to use her wasabi bomb. Come on man, you suck. So then Goku had to enter, and he clearly went and beat the shit out of them. All he did was use his power pole and bam, attacked each and every one of them. And that's why I said it gave me the Dragon Ball feel, because in Dragon Ball Goku had no Super Saiyan. He just went and used his power pole and he attacked all the Red Ribbon Army forces that was there. Same thing here, he attacked all the Gender Mind that was there, and he began to beat each and every one of them. And then that's when they managed to go and make this way out of the village. And then they show us a demon kid who was inside the opening. That girl, I always wonder who she is. Yeah, they show us her, but they never gave us her name. So I must admit, this is a pretty interesting episode, especially hearing the fact that Goku's really interested to go and fight the Dragon Ball, or the warriors that was protecting the Dragon Balls, and that they changed their destination just so they could go and get the Dragon Balls. I'm excited to see just how this is going to play out. I cannot wait to see how the Demon Dragon Balls looks like, but this is going to be really interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this episode, and what do you rate this? I'm going to give this episode a 6.5 out of 10. It was interesting, still a little slow, but not bad. I liked it. It's kicking up. Let me know your thoughts about what you guys think about the Medibugs, about the fusion of them and all that. It's pretty interesting to find out all this stuff when it comes to the Demon World. If there's anything you guys like about this video I have to talk about, please drop me a like. I'll greatly appreciate that. And if you haven't joined my Discord server yet, if you want, join it by the link in the description below. And please check out my backstory hero Z. It is pinned inside the comment section below. Check it out. Trust me, you're going to really like that series, my Z fans, as it is an ongoing series.